And with a puff of white smoke, the world has a new pope. Apparently, the Catholic cardinals figured out how to elect a pope by watching the hit movie Conclave. I'm not shitting you.
The supervision of this election is a duty I never thought I'd have to perform.
In the end, the real conclave elected a cardinal from the US.
Chicago native Robert Francis Prevost becoming the first American pope and taking the name Pope Leo XIV.
So who is Robert Prevost? Well, he's the American cardinal who sunk the slipper into Donald Trump repeatedly on social media. In 2017, for example, he retweeted a criticism of the Trump administration's treatment of refugees. But it's not just ancient history. This year, the new pope had a red-hot crack at J.D. Vance. So what is Trump saying about all this? Well, so far he's taken the high road, which is amazing because I didn't even know he knew where that was.
To have the Pope from the United States of America, that's a great honor. That's a great honor.
But you can't say the same for all of Trump's MAGA loonies, some of whom are losing their minds right now.
That's why I'm disappointed. That's why I tweeted out we're screwed, because this is a very pivotal point and it seems like we may be going in the wrong direction.
I can't wait to see where this pontificate goes next.
It's not a war.
It is a war, and you have to commit to a side.
Government brings with it responsibility, and no individual is greater than the collective.
There's no I in team, according to PM Anthony Albanese, but there is one in Cabinet. And it's Labor's New Look Cabinet that we're going to unpack right now with federal politics editor Katina Curtis. Okay, Katina, let's start right off the top with who are the biggest losers in this Labor Cabinet reshuffle.
Yeah, Ben, the two biggest losers are from the right faction of the party. It's Ed Husic from New South Wales and Mark Dreyfus from Victoria. Now, both have actually they're quite, you'd probably paint them as veteran politicians at this point. They've been around for 15 years or more, and both of them have been dumped by the right faction to make way for the newcomers. Now, the left faction, when they sat down yesterday to do their carve-ups, had a little bit of an easier time because they actually had two effectively vacant positions for them to fill because Stephen Jones and Bill Shorten both retired at the election, and there weren't new members of the ministry brought in to make up for those spots just before the election. So the left was due a couple of extra spots and they basically filled those vacancies, whereas the right, in order to create a bit of renewal, regeneration in the party, actually had to dump some people who were in the jobs already. So was interesting at the caucus meeting this morning, Ed Husic wasn't there. He didn't attend. He did post an Instagram story with a photo of some weights at the gym. I don't know if that was happening at the same time or just, coincidence a little bit earlier perhaps. Mark Dreyfus was there. He was sitting near the front, enthusiastically clapping along. There is maybe a small possibility because Mark Dreyfus played the role of cabinet secretary in the previous government, and he also actually held that position in the Rudd and Gillard governments as well. The cabinet secretary position is more within the remit of the prime minister to a point, and it doesn't have to be a minister. So there is some possibility that he might do that the PM might keep Mark Dreyfus sort of in the fold, as it were, in that position. There are a couple of people who I've spoken to said, there are plenty of other people who, might have their eyes on that job as well. So that's the losers. And definitely, politics is a brutal game. And sometimes it's from those most inside the tent that you feel the brutality from. And I think those two are feeling it today.